You'll find lots of service opportunities for young adults in the United Church of Christ. Since 1922, Back Bay Mission has been serving the poor and marginalized on the Mississippi's Gulf Coast. This summer, young adults from all over the country can participate in Back Bay's work through the Sherry Presteman Social Justice Internship. And here in Chicago, A Just Harvest offers many ways for young adults to change lives through urban agriculture. To learn more, let's welcome Bob Brodegum, president of Back Bay Mission's Board of Directors. Bob is a member of St. Charles Congregational United Church of Christ. And we also welcome Reverend Dr. Marilyn Pagan Banks, a UCC pastor and executive director of A Just Harvest. Thank you both of you for being here today.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. First question, Bob, is for you. Can you give us a little bit of the Back Bay Mission's history?
Sure. As you mentioned, the mission was founded in 1922. And they have a 95-year history of serving a very diverse population on the Gulf Coast. The mission started by the Southern Synod of the evangelical branch of the UCC Church, which was a series of denominations combined over time.
Okay.
And these two pastors from Southern Illinois and Missouri created a refuge for families that were serving in the shrimping industry and the shrimp canning plants.
Okay.
And it was very hard work, and the children were often working in the plants as well. So this was a refuge where the children could go to Sunday school and get medicine and shoes and clothing. And it's evolved over its 95-year history with a focus on education through World War II. And by that point, they were doing education 7 days a week, serving over 600 students.
Wow.
They had trade schools in the evening. Then later in the 60s, they became partners with the NAACP to encourage integration, both socially and in educational environments.
Marilyn, can you give us just a little bit of background about A Just Harvest?
So A Just Harvest was founded by a UCC church, Good News Community Church in Rogers Park in 1983. Started off as a soup kitchen. We address hunger and poverty with 3 strategies: direct service, community organizing, and community and economic development.
Now, can you tell us about the Sherry Presteman Social Justice Internship?
Yes, Sherry Presteman is a former executive director at Back Bay. She had a significant impact on the mission during her tenure. She took the mission through some very trying times. In fact, she was responsible for bringing the mission back after the Hurricane Katrina, where the work that the mission done was severely compromised, but the mission was literally wiped off the face of the earth. So she was responsible running it out of her home while they rebuilt the mission. And she made it clear to everybody that her interest in social justice was significantly impacted by the internship she had at Back Bay some 12 years earlier. So we thought it would be a good way to honor her, naming the internship after Sherry.
Absolutely, that sounds lovely. And for both of you, what kind of young adults are your programs seeking for either A Just Harvest or Back Bay?
So part of our work includes what we call community-based learning partnerships.
Okay.
And we believe that folks come and not only give of their time, but they're also giving of their gifts, right? And they're given an opportunity to be able to bring those gifts, you know, and do things contextually, and also learn from us as well. So our very first intern was a grad student at U of C, for example, and she went off to work for the Sierra Club. Doing environmental justice. And so we've had folks from universities, we've had folks from the seminaries, and so just really we try to make sure that it's a mutual relationship, that it's not just drawing them for any particular area, but we have conversations, we get to know them, we go to the universities and colleges and campuses to talk to folks, and then really begin to figure out what are the gifts that you have, or what are the gifts you're trying to cultivate, so that together we can learn how it is that we create community.
And the opportunities sound pretty vast for how you could plug people in. Would you add anything to that?
Well, we look for candidates from all around the country, from all walks of life, and the intern needs to display and illustrate in their application an interest in social justice, a passion for social justice, and we're willing to tailor their the program, the opportunities they have to that particular interest. However, the staff has been known to challenge applicants to go outside their comfort zone when they know that they have the abilities to maybe go into a field that wasn't of their own choosing. So several of the applicants have been challenged, and they've been very successful during those exploratory times.
It's an internship is a great way to do that, test things
Absolutely.
out. Do either of you have favorite stories or memories from your work?
One of our very first pastoral interns, right away he wanted to put on an apron and put on the little cap you have to wear in the kitchen. And I had to, because he said he was called to serve. He came from Korea, and he really had a culture of service and wanting to be sort of on the same, in his word, the same level as everyone else, which was fine. But I kind of had to push him to say, it's okay for you to set yourselves apart, because we have volunteers that we love and that do this every day, and folks need you to sit with them. And folks need to know that they can come to you for prayer or comfort. We don't proselytize. We're not there to do that, at the community kitchen, but to be a presence in case somebody needs you. And I said, the minute you put on that apron, they're asking for salt, sugar, or and more water. But when they see you as pastor, it kind of and he really appreciated that and began to understand that it was okay for him to be in a pastoral role, right? And kind of gave him permission to it's not about being over somebody, but it's about being available to them in a different way.
Not doing.
Right,
so
right.
If someone's interested in applying for this, can all young adults apply for these programs?
At Back Bay, the internship is available to, we've kind of set a range between 19 and 35. So we've had people in varying facets of education in the past, some just out of high school, some in college, and some even postgraduate work. Any place in the country. The mission provides housing, and they provide a stipend, which $2,500 for the 10-week opportunity. And it's a great opportunity to experience life in the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, which is a nice place to be in the summer months.
Okay.
So yes, and we've had folks, mostly they're local, they're here in studying, but we've had folks also that have come from out of town, but mostly because of their own relationship with their place of study, we haven't had to provide housing or anything like that. We've had paid internships, but most of them are not paid. It just depends. But yes, anyone who wants to apply, we're happy to have a conversation.
Thank you so much, Bob and Marilyn, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
I'm Polly Toner for Different Drummers and the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries. Keep the faith.